I suppose I'm gonna be wearing the most girl groupie outfit that I can while I film today. Hi everyone! Today on my vlog channel, I would like to talk about something that is very, very close to my heart. Little Mix. I've been a fan of Little Mix since, I think 2012? Late 2012. Little Mix, for those of you who don't know, is a UK-based girl group composed of Perry Edwards, Jade Thirlwall, Jessie Nelson, and Leigh-Anne. They were formed on the 8th season of X Factor in 2011 and went on to be the first group to win the whole thing. And really they haven't stopped ever since. American that I am, because I didn't watch the UK version of the X Factor because I was a sheltered child, I did not hear who Little Mix was until 2012 after One Direction got popular in the US, and I don't think I'm the only one. And let's be honest, most of us Directioners probably knew about them because one of them was dating one of them. I got hooked into their first couple of songs and I ended up really enjoying them as a 17-year-old now, or then at least, and I'm 25 and I still stan. So the thing about Little Mix is they are an immensely talented girl group. They are gearing up for album number 6. So many girl groups wish. I can't think of a girl group that had that many albums together. I seriously can't, unless they were like from way back in the day. Good for them. I'm super proud of them. I did type out some notes, so there will be some structure to this. Yes, my journey as a stan in the US. Yeah, I guess I was a stan in the USA. The hard thing about being a fan of groups that are popular in the UK and that are putting out great music, they don't necessarily have a marketing team that is really interested in trying to break them into America. Like, they tried with Little Mix. They had them on the morning shows, but the album came out 6 months later than it did in the UK. I had to wait so long for Wings to even go on sale in the US, and it only hit like number 76 on the charts, because clearly Psycho was only interested in promoting One Direction in the US. I don't want to ignite this discussion, but they were far more concerned with promoting Fifth Harmony. Simon Cowell was not a judge on Little Mix's season of the UK X Factor like he was with the US version with Fifth Harmony, and he was also a judge on the UK season that One Direction was on. So of course he has more investment in them. That being said, they did open for Demi Lovato. I went to that tour, except I went to a date that Little Mix wasn't opening for them, so great. I did get to see Cheryl Lloyd, and that was nice, and I had a really nice night with my sister. And then they announced that the Salute tour was happening, named after the second album. I was so excited to get tickets for it, and then they canceled it. And there's a lot of reasons why people think it was canceled. I think some of it had to do with poor promotion on their management company's part, which is such a shame because every single album that they've put out has been at the very least good. I get so excited for every album they put out. I own, I think, all of them at this point. 3 of them I have on CD. And I finally, after like at least 8 years of being a fan, am hopefully, COVID permitting, going to be going and seeing them on their Confetti tour next year. And I'm so excited for that, and I cannot wait. And my high school self is, and my college self really is so excited, and my current self. So the albums that Little Mix has put out so far, I would say DNA, it's a good starter album. There's some standout tracks on there, but overall it's very X Factor winnery. We're at the very beginning of our career. We're finding our way. DNA, Wings are still really good songs. I have some nostalgia for Change Your Life now that I've heard it in the background on Little Mix The Search, which we will talk about in a minute. Salute is really where I started to be like, okay, this is a force to be reckoned with. And this also had a later album release date because they put it out in November in the UK, and then they put it out in February, in the dead of February in the United States, and had them going on like all these talk shows that of course like their fan base isn't going to be watching, and we have Lara Spencer asking them stupid questions and pronouncing Leigh-Anne's last name wrong. Yikes. And everybody asking the person who was dating a person in One Direction about him, because that's the only way we can promote this group, apparently. Get Weird, we had to wait a little bit longer for that one. Get Weird is interesting because I feel like they really were trying to break them in America at that point, but like The songs on Get Weird are really, really good. I really like them. Hair is one of my favorites. This is this album where we really started seeing the unnecessary features added to the single versions of perfectly amazing album tracks, I have to say. I love the album version of Hair, but then they put out Hair with Sean Paul and I was like, And also the music videos that they were putting out at that point seemed like too Americanized, and I feel like by that point, like they kind of lost the battle in terms of mainstream acceptance because Fifth Harmony was such a huge thing at that point, and Fifth Harmony was fine, but I never felt like they gelled together as a group. I don't get that feeling with Little Mix even now. I feel like they really banded together. So anyways, Get Weird was, well, a weird era, but an era that I love. That was also the era where I was living in the UK for a good 4 months, and I have this video of me dancing around in my room with my straight hair and dancing around to Hair and like, you know, using like my detangling spray bottle as like a microphone. I was 20. Glory Days, as far as I'm concerned, is a perfect album from top to bottom, with the exception maybe of You Gotta Not, but we'll see. But like, shout out to My Ex was so good. Touch is a banger and I love it so much. No More Sad Songs is really good, except they didn't really need Machine Gun Kelly on the remix. And then same with Power. I like Stormzy, but in Power, so good. Every single track. Oops with Charlie Puth. Your Love, Nothing Else Matters, Nobody Like You. Is Nobody Like You on Glory Days? Yes, yes it is. For some reason I kept like mixing that up with Salute because there's some good ballads on Salute. FU is so great. It's such a nice down and dirty. Your Love, Nobody Like You, Private Show is so good. Glory Days is such a great album, and we still fell into the trap of singles that didn't need features and that were perfectly great on the album, but I digress. I feel like that is the point where Little Mix was like, we're here to stay and we are the queens of everything. They were touring stadiums in the UK at that point and only playing supporting act to Ariana Grande on her US tour, so great. And then LM5. That came out right when I moved to the UK permanently 2 years ago. And I did want to get tickets for that tour, but I wasn't sure if I was gonna be in the UK after that. My point is, LM5 was so good. Women Like Me was such a great song. I feel like that album cycle got a little bit messed up because right before the album came out, they left Simon's record label, and good riddance. Good freaking riddance. He did nothing for their careers. He did not care about them. There's a clip of when they're doing press for like an episode of X Factor that they were gonna perform on with Emblem 3. Does anyone remember Emblem 3? Like, I kind of remember them from their season, but anyways, it was like they were gonna perform and Little Mix were gonna perform on the same results show, and Simon was talking all about Emblem 3 and how great they were, and Kelly Rowland formed Little Mix, by the way. Kelly Rowland was like, talk about Little Mix, talk about Little Mix. And Simon was like, oh yeah, that group Kelly put together. I'm sure I'll find a way to edit down my rambling. So, and now we have arrived where we are today. Little Mix is on a different record label. If you heard Not a Pop Song the other day, they have some things to say about their time with Simon. I love Breakup Song as a single. I feel bad that they couldn't promote it as much as they wanted to because of COVID, but the music video was still quite ingenious and fun and got around the fact that they couldn't all film together. Holiday is such a great song, including the remixes. I really like it. And then of course we're starting to get the promotional singles, and if those two plus Not a Pop Song are any indication of what their 6th album, Confetti, is going to sound like, I don't think I'm ready. I really don't think I'm ready for this. That's kind of my overview of the Little Mix eras and how I feel about them. Which brings me to Little Mix The Search. I'm filming this the day after episode 5 aired, which means that episode 6 is airing tonight. So by the time this is up, they'll have formed all 6 groups that they're going to be taking on to the finals. But basically, they are looking to form a band to go as their supporting act on tour with them, which means yay, I will get to see the winners in concert, hooray. They've formed a mixed group of men and women. They have a girl vocal group, a girl dance group, which they formed last night, a vocal and instrument group, which I kind of had hoped would have a couple female members in it, but And of course we have our boy band, and I think tonight we're forming a rap R&B group. We'll see how that turns out. I have to say, I'm not really a talent show person. The only reality competition of any sort that I've been watching like regularly in the last couple of years has been RuPaul's Drag Race and the Great British Bake Off, and that's it. But I tuned into the show because I'm of course a Little Mix fan and I wanted to see how it went, and I was genuinely wonderfully surprised by what I saw. This is not a show that is out to make people look bad. This is not a show that is meant to just humiliate someone. This is a show, a singing reality competition show that is about kindness, about giving actual constructive critique. We're not here to laugh at people who are bad, because as we all know, like, the producers audition people, and if they're absolutely horrible, they'll still put them in front of the judges because ratings. The people who want to be a part of this group, and it is all about groups. I love that too. It's not just I'm out to be a solo artist for myself. It is an important aspect of how they would behave and be put together in a group, and obviously that means we don't need any divas who think that they're more important than everyone else. I love this show. I think the girls are excellent judges. Sorry, these women are excellent judges, and I think they are especially qualified to do this because, one, they are real musicians. They have been doing this at the very least together for a good 9 years, and they know how to work well as a group, and they know each other's dynamics, and they want to make sure that these groups fit well together, not just like aesthetically, not just sonically, but like as friends, as brothers and sisters basically. And I value that so much in a show. I would actually like to find a little bit more out about Little Mix The Search, because I feel like they take mental health quite seriously on this show. I think they make it a point to really like comfort people if they haven't gotten through. Like, I think that's what I love. And we also are breezing through like the pre-taped material, because I think each episode goes through like 45 minutes or so of auditions, and we have, I think, a rehearsal day, after which two people get cut, and then we have a concert audition where the remaining, I think, 7 or 8 contestants sing together in front of a live audience, and then they narrow it down to their final group of 4 or 5. And after every single elimination, it's not played for drama. You can tell that, like, if they're taking a long time to say something, that they really are thinking about it and not just like pausing for the cameras. It is hard to narrow down a really good group of girls into a group of like 4 or 5, and after every elimination you get to see them like, you know, we're not doing this because we don't like you, we just think it's not your time yet, you're really talented. And I would love to see what kind of mental health protocols are in place on the show. I would love to know if they have like a clinical psychologist, someone who is a mental health professional, or a few mental health professionals, because I feel like, especially for some of the younger contestants that are trying out for this show, like 16, 17 years old, that would be really important. Given everything that I've seen so far, I wouldn't be surprised if like a few professionals like that are on set. When was the last time that we had a reality show where the 4 judges are all women? I don't think we've ever had that. It's either been half and half, or it's been predominantly male. Also, the 2 executive producers on the show are female. As I say, like, they are qualified to judge the show because they are the consummate professionals. They are the best girl group in the world that we have right now. They can sing, they can dance, they know how to put on shows, and just the material that they work with is so good too. A lot of people have given them criticism for being like maybe a little bit too sexed up in their later albums, and to that I say, 1, they are all women in their mid to late 20s at this point. They are allowed to do with their bodies what they please, and they are allowed to sing about things that make sense to them, that they are going through, and feelings that they have as women in their mid to late 20s. And I have to respect them for doing things like that. To me, when they are singing about something that is so sexually charged, like Touch or Notice on LM5, for me, I don't think that that makes them out to be whores or sluts, and I'm sorry to use that terminology, but people call them that. I think it's women who are in charge of their bodies and they know what they want and they are allowed to have agency in their own sexual lives, and that is so empowering to see them kind of like reject that "you are a woman, you must be chaste unless you're with me" stereotype. People are getting mad at them for the same reason that they got mad at Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion for WAP over the last summer, when, you know what? We don't judge men for talking all about how they want to have sex with every woman that they meet, so we shouldn't be judging women for talking about how they want their sex to be. This video is gonna get demonetized, isn't it? It's fine, it's on my second channel. Outside of the music, they've also been tackling issues like body image, and Leigh-Anne has talked quite a bit recently about how she is perceived as a black woman in this group, and she's been speaking out on Black Lives Matter and how her race affected her upbringing. She and other members of the group have gone to BLM marches, which is just, they go to these things because they believe in the causes, and I have to respect that. And Jessie has the most heartbreaking story of really all four of them, because she was bullied so badly on X Factor and immediately afterward. And people like, not gonna say her name, but Miss My Child is Called India, but it's not based on a place name, bullied her online, and that drove her to almost take her own life. And she made this incredible documentary about her experience and the fact that she is able to speak out and be an advocate for things like that. I value, you know, people who use their celebrity for powerful purposes. It's the same reason why I'm such a huge fan of Demi Lovato. I love musicians that use their music to speak out about the issues that they care about, but also to speak out and be advocates outside of that. Because a lot of people want them to just shut up and sing, makes me want them to speak out even more. I am so glad to be able to be a Little Mix fan, even in my 20s. It's just so empowering to see these women who were adopted into a system that systematically chews up and spits out a lot of young artists, but especially women. After like 2 or 3 years, they have defied the system. They have become independent and more powerful than that system, and they have become their own bosses, and they are using their own power to be the women that they want to be. They took back the control that other people had on their career for themselves, and they are using it for good, and they are, without a doubt, one of my favorite artists and one of the ones that I'm most proud to call myself a fan of. In conclusion, stan Little Mix. I probably still know all the choreography to Salute, I'm not gonna lie. Please watch Little Mix The Search if you can. I don't think it's airing in the United States at all, but if you are in the UK, you can watch it Saturday and Sunday nights, and also on iPlayer. Live shows are coming up soon, socially distanced live shows, I have to say. Buy Confetti when it comes out and go stream all their albums, go buy their albums. Please give them the attention that their record label never bothered to give them for like a good 7 years. They, more than anyone, especially now, deserve it. Thank you guys so much for sitting through this. If you have made it to the end, either you just really like me getting excited about things, or you are a Little Mix stan and you are feeling validated by the things I am saying, or you're just having a puzzle on in the background and you just need someone to rant at you. I get it, sometimes I do that too. If you liked this, be sure to watch my previous video on this channel where I talked about my thoughts about the 2020 reading rush, good and bad, so that'll be linked. I am 5 videos in now to season 2 of Women in Film Reviews, the most recent being A Wrinkle in Time, directed by Ava DuVernay. You can watch that on my main channel in a playlist that I will link here. And I've also talked about Captain Marvel, the 2020 version of Emma, and Lulu Wang's The Farewell. So all of those will be in a playlist for you to be able to watch. I have been doing a lot on Patreon in the last month. I have a lot of weekly updates. I do polls for the movies that I'm going to review, And I just recently uploaded the first monthly movie commentary done by myself and my husband Tim. We watched Phineas and Ferb Across the Second Dimension and had a great time. So you will have access to all of that if you become a patron for £5 a month, and you can help me produce more quality content like this. You can also follow me on Twitter at HelenMarie95. You can follow me on Instagram at HelenMarie_95. On Facebook at facebook.com/HelenGroothuisWriter. You can also find all of my previous work on helen-groothuis.com. All of those links will be in the description. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to keep living awesome lives, stand Little Mix, and I will see you all at some other time. Bye.